Hello, nice to be with you again.
Hello, here we are again.
今天是35课第1讲，在这一讲里边，我们要学习第35课课文 The Story of Helen Keller 海伦·凯勒的故事。
The Story of Helen Keller. A person who is deaf when he is born is usually dumb as well. There seems to be nothing wrong with his mouth and tongue, but he cannot speak. This is because, as he is deaf, he cannot hear other people, and therefore has nothing to imitate. He may try to make sounds himself, but he cannot hear his own voice. However, even though he finds it difficult to speak and cannot hear, he can see. He can therefore learn to read. Nowadays, he can also be taught to speak because we have modern methods and equipment. But we did not have these when Helen Keller was born. Helen Keller was born in a small Alabama town in 1880. When she was 19 months old, she fell ill and had a fever. She became blind and deaf. She could not communicate with anyone, and no one could communicate with her. She grew frustrated and angry. She threw things and broke things. Then, in 1887, a teacher, Anne Sullivan, arrived at the home of the Kellers to be Helen's tutor. Though Miss Sullivan herself had been blind, she had been partly cured, and although she could not see very well, she was not blind. She remained as Helen's tutor and friend for 50 years. Miss Sullivan began to work with Helen. She taught her to make different movements with her fingers. The movements represented the letters of the alphabet. Helen learned to make the movements, but she did not understand their meaning. She did not know that the letters were related to something in the world. But one morning, Miss Sullivan took Helen to a water pond, and she put Helen's hand under the water. At the same time, she spelled the letters W-A-T-E-R on Helen's other hand, and at that moment, Helen understood. Later in her life, she said, "Somehow the mystery of language was revealed to me. I knew then that W-A-T-E-R was the wonderful cold something flowing over my hand." Helen was smart and learned quickly. Soon she knew many words. When she was 8 years old, she went to a school for the blind in Boston, and she learned to read books written for the blind people. She even went to college and had a full education. She wrote many books too. Although other people have written books about her, people agreed that her own books are the ones that are best explain how it feels to be deaf, dumb and blind. Her best book is The Story of My Life. Perhaps you have read it. Though it was written in 1902, it still is a very exciting book. Even if you have not read it, you may have heard of Helen Keller.
好，下面请大家准备用英文回答以下几个问题。Question 1. Why is a deaf person at birth also a dumb person? Why is a deaf person at birth also a dumb person?
This is because a deaf person cannot hear other people, so he has nothing to imitate.
Question 2. Why can the deaf children be taught to speak more easily now? Why can the deaf children be taught to speak more easily now?
This is because we have the help of modern methods and equipment.
Question 3. When did Helen Keller become blind? When did Helen Keller become blind?
Helen became blind after a fever when she was only 19 months old.
Question 4. Did she react to this sudden change violently? How did she show her frustration? Did she react to this sudden change violently? How did she show her frustration?
Yes, she did. She threw things and broke things.
Question 5. Who was Anne Sullivan? Was she a blind woman? Who was Anne Sullivan? Was she a blind woman?
Anne Sullivan was Helen's tutor. She had been blind, but had been partly cured. She was not blind when she came to teach Helen.
Question 6. What did Miss Sullivan teach Helen to do at first? What did Miss Sullivan teach Helen to do at first?
She taught her to make different movements with her fingers.
Question 7. What happened that made Helen come to realize the meaning of Miss Sullivan's finger movements? What happened that made Helen come to realize the meaning of Miss Sullivan's finger movements?
One morning, while Helen's hand was in the water, Miss Sullivan spelled W-A-T-E-R on Helen's other hand. At that moment, Helen came to realize that the letters were related to the things in the world.
通过听课文和回答问题，我想大家对课文的内容一定有了了解了。下面我们再回过头来分析一下课文中的一些疑难句子。首先，我们来看一下第一段中的第一句话。
A person who is deaf when he is born is usually dumb as well. A person who is deaf when he is born is usually dumb as well.
这句话的中文意思是，一个人出生时就耳聋的话，他一般也不会说话。换句话说，他就是个先天聋哑人。He is born to be a deaf and dumb person. 这一句中的 as well 的意思是也和与副词 to 相近，两者一般都用在肯定句末尾，比如
If you will go, I will go as well. If you will go, I will go too.
如果你愿意去，那我也去。
Anne Sullivan was Helen's tutor, and she was her friend as well. Anne Sullivan was Helen's tutor, and she was her friend too.
安妮·沙利文是海伦的家庭教师，她也是海伦的朋友。在上面两个句子当中 ，as well 和 to 可以替代使用。英文当中还有一个字 also 也可以代替 as well 和 to， 但是 also 用在书面语当中比较多，而且 also 的位置也特别灵活。我们来看一下下面几个例句。
Mary is a businesswoman. She is also a mother. Mary is a businesswoman. She is also a mother.
玛丽是一位女商人，她也是一位母亲。在这一句当中 ，also 放在系动词之后。
I have written the letters. I should also have posted them. I have written the letters. I should also have posted them.
我写了那些信，我本来也应该把它们寄出去的。also 放在第一个动词 should 之后，当有一个以上的动词时 ，also 应该放在第一个动词之后。
I play squash and I also play tennis. I play squash and I also play tennis.
我打壁球，也打网球。also 放在主要动词 play 之前。从上面这些例句中，我们可以看出 as well, to 和 also 都用在肯定句当中。那么在否定句中，则必须用 either 这个字。请看例句。
If you won't go, I won't go either. If you won't go, I won't go either.
如果你不去，我也不去。
Anne Sullivan was not deaf and she was not blind either. Anne Sullivan was not deaf and she was not blind either.
安妮·沙利文既不聋也不哑。
Mary is not a businesswoman. She is not a mother either. Mary is not a businesswoman. She is not a mother either.
玛丽既不是位女商人，也不是位母亲。
I don't play squash and I don't play tennis either. I don't play squash and I don't play tennis either.
我既不打壁球，也不打网球。从以上这些例句中可以看出 ，as well, to, also 都用在肯定句当中。as well 和 to 放在句子的末尾 ，also 它的位置比较灵活。在否定句当中，则必须要用 either 这个字。好，接着我们再来看一下第二段中的一句话。
She fell ill and had a fever. She fell ill and had a fever.
她病倒了，并发起高烧。fall 后接形容词表示陷入某种状态、变成的意思。下面我们来看几个例句。
He fell asleep. He fell asleep.
他睡着了。
He suddenly fell grave. He suddenly fell grave.
他突然板起了面孔。
He fell ill with cancer. He fell ill with cancer.
他得了癌症。好，我们再来看课文后半句中 have 的用法。
I have a bad headache. I have a bad headache.
我头疼的厉害。
I have a sore throat. I have a sore throat.
我嗓子疼。
Do you often have colds? Do you often have colds?
你常患感冒吗？像 for, have 这类可以用来表达多种不同的意思和内容的小词，我们一定要多加注意。好，接着我们来看一下第3段第1句话中的一个字 tutor。 tutor 是家庭教师的意思，英文中还有一个专门指家庭女教师的词，这个词是 governess。 大概家庭教师一般都是女的，所以英文中还没有一个专门指家庭男教师的词。 tutor 当其他意思用时，英美的用法是不一样的。在美国大学里 tutor 指助教，而在英国大学里却提高了身价，成了导师的意思。好，下面我们再来看课文中的最后一句话。
Even if you have not read it, you may have heard of Helen Keller. Even if you have not read it, you may have heard of Helen Keller.
这句话的中文意思是，即使你没有读过这本书，你也许已听说过海伦·凯勒的故事。May have done something 表示对已发生的事情的猜测。请看下面的例句。
He may have been at home yesterday. He may have been at home yesterday.
他昨天可能在家。
They may have left last night. They may have left last night.
他们可能是昨晚走的。如果说话者的口气比较肯定，比如说前2句话的说话人肯定他昨天在家，或者说他们肯定是昨天晚上走的，那么我们就可以用 may as well have done something。 为了便于记忆，我们可以把 well 理解成 with good reason 有充分理由的，或者 reasonably 有理由的。好，我们来看下面几个例句。
He may well have been at home yesterday. He may well have been at home yesterday.
他昨天很可能在家。
They may well have left last night. They may well have left last night.
他们很可能是昨晚走的。前面第1句和第2句当中的 may 可以用 might 代替，但是句子就包含了2层意思，比如
He might have been at home yesterday. He might have been at home yesterday.
他昨天可能在家。这句话还有一层意思是，他昨天本来可以在家的。
They might have left last night. They might have left last night.
他们昨晚可能已经走了。这句话的另外一层意思是，他们昨晚本来是可以走的。像以上这2句用 might 的情况下，句子到底是第1种还是第2种意思呢？就要取决于上下文和语言环境了。以上我们说了，在对已发生的事情表示猜测时 may have 和 might have 可以换用，但是在下面这句当中却不可以换用。
They might have left last night, but they didn't.
他们本来昨晚可以走的，但他们没有走。这一句中的 might 不能用 may 代替。
That's all for now. We look forward to seeing you next time.
好，这一讲就学到这儿。Thank you for being with us. Hope to see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.